Every dog deserves a chance to feel loved, confident, and connected. And one of the best ways to give that to a shelter dog is through a pack walk. Pack walks are more than just exercise. They help dogs learn social skills, reduce anxiety, and build trust with humans and other dogs. For many shelter dogs, this is their first step toward a brighter future. For dogs who have had a tough start, being part of a pack helps them feel like they belong. It boosts their confidence and prepares them for life in a forever home. But it's not just the dogs who benefit. Pack walks are an amazing way for volunteers to bond with these animals, creating moments of joy and connection that make a real difference.
Pack walks allow the dogs to socialize, but they also allow our volunteers to work with them on leash manners. It helps our volunteers to learn how to be confident dog walkers, because that's a huge component as well when we have our volunteers interact with our dogs. And then plus it allows them to expend some energy, right? They've been in the shelter for a long period of time. They need to go out and exercise and kind of get their brains engaged, sniff around, do that type of thing. Several years back, I was approached to incorporate and kind of start and build a small training committee. And so they asked me if I would help lead that up. Ours is kind of homegrown, so to speak. We got a grant and went and got some certification. We went with positive reinforcement training, which is kind of a clicker-based training. So we wanted to keep it easy for the volunteers to kind of learn. We wanted to make sure that it was a good, calm, positive environment for the dogs. And we don't know their backstories, so we want to make sure it's kind of a, positive reinforcement's all about food and treating and motivating for the right behavior. And then we want to make sure that it's easy to kind of transfer over to people that are adopting the shelter dogs, right? We want to continue the training as they move forward and such, so the dogs can stay there long term.
We had about 20,000 hours, volunteer hours in 2024, and about half of those were for animal care. Hi, I'm Jackie. I'm the volunteer program manager for the Humane Society, and I manage all the volunteers here. We have about 300 volunteers, and on any given month, we have about 150 active volunteers. Depending on the month, we could have up to 175 volunteers if we have an event. The volunteers here are really incredible people. They're not just coming in and playing with dogs and cats like a lot of people think. They're also doing a lot of the emotional work that people don't realize. So our front desk is dealing with people that are experiencing homelessness, job loss, and they're coming in, they need help with food. We're also dealing with animals coming in that have sad stories. Either the owner died or they're being surrendered. So a lot of times people don't realize that, but our volunteers are like front and center with those emotions. And then sometimes they're having to say no to somebody because we don't have space. Some of it is our capacity for care here at the shelter, because we have only so much space and we only have so many volunteers that can take care of the animals. We're limited on what we can bring in.
Hi, I'm Kathy Van Arstel, and I'm a volunteer at the Humane Society for Boone County. One of the things that I do is the Pet Pantry. It's a service that we provide to our community. We basically give away dog and cat food to anyone that needs it. We have 2 every month, wet food, dry food, whatever we get as a donation. And then if we don't get enough donations, we purchase food for the pantries. In 2024, we served 1,458 households. 3,300 dogs and 2,200 cats. Dog food, we gave away almost 20,000 pounds of dry dog food and 7,000 pounds of cat food. We know there is a need in this community, and we see it every time we go to the pantries. And a lot of times people will feed their pet before they feed themselves, and other times the pets get the leftovers and the scraps, and we want the pets to be healthy as well as the people. At the pantry, we ask the people that come in, are your pets spayed or neutered? And if they say no, then we give them out information on low-cost options. We really encourage them and say, please do this, otherwise you're just going to keep having more and more to take care of. We also get donations from Amazon, Petco, Tractor Supply, and a lot of those go toward the pet pantry.
So yeah, we need volunteers for that. Transporting to the vet and back is hard because sometimes we'll have an emergency situation. A lot of times I just do those where if a dog gets sick or a puppy's sick, and I have to make a decision late at night whether or not I will go to the vet. All the dogs that come into the facility, I make the decision and find placement for them either here at the shelter or in a foster home. So I have a long list of dogs that people want us to take, and I just don't have a place for them. When I am trying to make those decisions, it's like a juggling act. I have to juggle like how long I think we'll have it and how much it might end up being cost-wise. Like we do occasionally get like boarding situations. The last one we had, they had 7 cats and 7 dogs that were abandoned in a house, and Dawn and I had to go to the scene and help like figure out where we were gonna put them. A bunch of them ended up at my house in the barn until we could place them. So Forever Foster is a dog that for some reason isn't really suited to be placed into an adoptive home. So we will have someone that is a volunteer with the organization that will keep the animal for the rest of its life. And we provide the food if needed and the medical care that the animal needs for it as long as it lives. And then when it comes time to make like a decision, end of life care, we will help with that. We have several right now. I have 2 at my house. Oh. I have 2 Forever Fosters at my house. So Mark, we've had him quite a while. I can't remember. I'd have to look how many years we've had Mark. His owner was having a hard time financially taking care of him because he requires a lot of medical support. Like he's on a special diet, he has to have constant medications for his allergies, and we actually just switched him to being a Forever Foster, which means that he'll live out his days with his foster and we'll continue to care for him. But when he initially came into the system, his owner wasn't able to do that, and so she asked us if we would take him. She really didn't want to surrender him to us, but she couldn't afford it. So we kind of worked a situation out where she kept him, but we would help her with his medical stuff. And then eventually she had a change in life and wasn't able to keep him anymore, so then he came to us, and that's how he ended up in the foster home that he's in now.
Hi, I'm Dawn Walker. I am in charge of all of the cat programs here at Boone County Humane Society. I do cat intake. I am in charge of the cats that go to foster, as well as like the adoptions, making sure the cats are well. So it mainly consists of taking in hotline calls, calling those people back, talking about what it is that they're needing. If there's a way that I can help them keep their cat, then we work on that. Community cats sometimes is what they're looking for, help with getting them fixed. Bringing in strays. I also do a lot of the meet and greets here at the shelter. I do like TNR, which is Trap, Neuter, Return. That is helping the community cats, and so I'm doing a lot of the field work with that. Going out, talking to the people, assessing it so we can figure out how we can best help with their situation. So sometimes the owners or the caretakers are the ones doing the trapping, and I'm just guiding them and providing them with supplies. Cat care here, I feel like we're unique because I'm able to actually have the cages larger, meaning the cats have both a top and bottom. And then it's easier to interact with them as well as far as a volunteer. Whereas a lot of shelters use only one level per cat. We recently, last fall, created a program called the CAP program. It's Community Assistance Program. So it helps with owners that may be financially strapped to be able to provide vaccines, provide spay and neuter, and that's both with cats and dogs. It isn't necessarily, but I have been given the opportunity to work with these people and be able to set up appointments and help them get that. Last year's Fur Ball, we did a fund a cause. And last year's was to help community with their finances, getting their animals vaccinated and fixed. With that, there have been some situations that have come up that we would consider hoarding situations where people have multiple cats, like probably too many. So to keep them from reproducing, we have gone in with these certificates, the CAP certificates, to be able to help them so that we stop that process. The owners or caretakers, they sometimes are angry with us. Some situations have arisen where the cat's stressed out so much while they were at the clinic that they're now sick. Like we just had an outbreak of Calici virus in a home that caused by stress of going. You know, we're collecting all these cats, they're gone all day, and so their immune system is so low because they've been in this situation with 20 plus cats. Small, confined, not sanitary, inbreeding. There's lots of reasons that this just isn't a good idea.
The Goldie scenario, having him come in so fearful and so just highly not comfortable at all being touched by other people, and then seeing him go to a home where now he's flourishing and hanging out with young kids and going on pack walks with his other family members and the dogs and such. That's the ultimate for us, is to find the right match for the dog for long term and make a family complete, hopefully. So, yeah.
Watching a cat come in scared and then leave happy, finding the best home ever. That is my favorite part. Making both the cat and the new owner happy.
This is the best place to volunteer if that's what you want to do.
These have been just a few of the hardworking volunteers caring for strays and giving them a second chance at a loving home. But they can't do it alone. Adopt, donate, or volunteer with the Humane Society for Boone County to make a difference in the lives of these amazing animals. Every little bit counts, and together, we can give them the love and care they deserve. Visit hsforbc.org to get involved today.